Major League Baseball is down to the Final Four. Week 6 is complete in the NFL. College football is awesome right now. A lot of exciting things there, and we have something to celebrate here on Goode Sports. Thanks for joining us. I'm Randy Goode, and I am excited to have Cameron Harkleroyd and also Trent Sneed joining us. And we have something to start us off with that we have been working on for a long time. Some great news. We want to thank everybody. We just hit a milestone goal for us. We got our first 100 subscribers. We're celebrating today. Everybody raise your glass right here. This is to Cameron. Thank you, guys. Let's have a drink. I wanted to just thank everybody. It's really awesome. We have, 100 subscribers. We've had about, I don't know, I think it's almost 500 hours of watch time that we have.
Most of those were you.
498 of them were me, but we have almost 15,000 views. It's been awesome. And, we just started this off, never know where this is going to go. And it's really just been awesome. And each week we're getting more and more views, more and more subscribers. And that was the first goal for us. And now we're going to go on. And now our next goal is going to be 200 subscribers. We're going to go for 1,000 watch hours. But I want to thank everybody for hitting the subscribe button. If you haven't yet, please do so. It does mean a lot to us. And the more and more people that come on and click and like, it actually goes to more and more people. And so we really appreciate all the support. It does mean a lot to us. I think it is awesome. Congratulations to you guys. Drew produces behind the scenes, puts in a ton of time, and puts the shorts out and all that. And everybody, it's just really awesome. So thank you guys. How you guys feeling right now, Cameron? What are your thoughts of how things have gone so far?
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad we're moving up in the ranks and getting people to be pretty consistent. I've seen consistency within the comments and views and stuff like that. So it's nice to see people coming back, and something that can help you if you want to come back on a regular basis and remember to see that is there's a little notification bell next to the subscribe button.
Great.
If you click that bell,
boom,
gives you
boom.
notifications.
Good call.
That when we post, you can, so that way you can see it whenever you want. So
yep, we've had, even this last week, we had the day after we did our last podcast, we did a impromptu when Robert Selah was fired. We did a kind of a live as it happened type of thing, and you had a bunch of views right off the bat for that. So that was really exciting. And also thanks to all the people that have been on. We've had a lot of different people. If you see our intro, you can see a lot of different people have joined us. And
yeah,
Trent, how are you feeling about things? And
I'm feeling good, Randy. That does remind me though. There's some people that want to come back.
Yes,
there's some people that want to come back. So maybe we'll do a little special session for those people.
Should.
Craig Dodd really wants to come back. I'm sure Mike Wynn would love to come back on.
Maria.
Oh, yeah. Maria
wants to come back.
Maria would love to talk right now.
Especially right now.
We should bring her back next week after the game if we
we'll
win.
See.
That'd be good.
I'll make that decision not at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I'll make it at the end of the fourth quarter. Or no, maybe at the end of the game in case there's overtime.
That deal right at half.
Yeah. I know where you're going with that.
Either way, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, we do this because we enjoy it, not because we're ever thinking that this is going to be something huge that one day will be something. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it's something we really enjoy, and for those of you out there who are enjoying it, we really just appreciate the support. Every subscriber, every view, it matters to us, and we watch that. And we don't do the impromptu live stuff like we did last week if it wasn't for the fact we didn't care.
That's right.
We appreciate when you guys care. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think more and more people are also sharing things and letting. I just saw something. I had a friend share something on Facebook. Didn't even ask. I had two of them happen this week where they just shared our podcast that has nothing to do with them, and it just means a lot. So whatever you have, share, like. You can tell us you disagree. It's okay. We want to hear it. So thank you again for that. Really appreciate it. Here's to everybody. Just thank you guys, and Now we're on to our next goal. So let's hit it together. We're together on this. So last week we did in the NFL. We'll start in the NFL. We did our picks, and I was really happy. Last week I really did not like.
Hey.
It was disaster. I was 1-3. It was not good.
I'm above 500.
But Trent, you have moved, and you are 15-13.
Yes,
so
sir.
you are above 500. Drew he joined a little late. He is 10-8. So you guys are really close in the overall percentages. Drew was 4-0. You were 3-1. Cameron was only 2-2 last week, and he fell to 18-10, still tied for first. And I caught him 18-10 myself. I was 4-0. So Cameron and I are tied 18-10, which is no surprise because we have a big game coming up this week, which we'll talk about towards the end, which will be interesting. But 18-10. So good job, everybody. In the week, we had of the picks we did, we had the 49ers Thursday night beat the Seahawks. We had the Eagles beat the Browns. We had, the Ravens beat the Commanders, and the Lions. Wow, that was fun.
I don't think we were expecting that.
Oh, no, but I'll tell you, the Stephen A. Smith little segment that he did was so fun to watch. I had a Cowboy fan send me something that said he's in a bad relationship with the Cowboys. He sent a meme. I thought it was great. Troy, shout out to you. You're doing okay. We're praying for you.
I will say, Randy, I'm pretty sure my 15-13 record matches my QB's current touchdown to interception ratio.
That's fantastic. That is great. You know what? It's okay. I mean, sometimes giving's better than receiving. So sometimes. So we'll see where we're at. So of those games last week that we went over, we had all those games. What was your things that stood out to you guys? Trent, what about you this last week that made an impression on you?
Yeah, I mean, the 49ers went up, played a hard game against the Seahawks. I think after the first half, we thought the Seahawks were probably going to lay down, let the 49ers roll over them. I think the 49ers are thanking their lucky stars that it wasn't raining out that night because I think that changes that game a lot. But ultimately came above, and obviously I didn't call that one. I called the opposite direction there, so good on them for having a depleted team health-wise and still going out there fighting out a tough battle. We know that Seattle Stadium can be super hard to play in. And then the Eagles, man, I don't even know where to get started on that.
Hey, at least you got A.J. Brown back, over 100 yards. You have that. Why you barely beat the Browns, that's a little concerning. Whoa. But they beat the Browns.
It hurts more when you say it.
Sorry.
Let me say it. You guys suck. No, listen, a win's a win at the end of the day. I don't like how hard that win was. That's never a good sign, especially against a Browns team that's struggling hard. I will say, Jalen actually played a good game, which it's not going to show up as much on the stat sheet. But the Browns only one of their only few touchdowns was it was a blocked field goal. So, I mean, it's hard because that game's probably not as close out of the blocked field goal, which is kind of a special teams play. That'll happen. But ultimately, that offense needs to be scoring 30 points a game. It needs to be scoring 30 points a game.
With Saquon Barkley,
no good excuse.
A.J. Brown, Hurts. Yeah.
Ravens, Washington Commanders. I mean, Cameron took Commanders, and the Commanders look like they could have won that game, for sure.
Commanders are a good team.
Listen, Jaden Daniels, he's
the guy.
Electric. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. Man, he had 2 touchdowns last week, and I think that guy's going to end up finishing out pretty well this season.
Yeah.
Great job so far from the Commanders. Honestly, I wouldn't be disappointed if I were them. No one wins against Lamar in the NFC. So,
right.
Great game from them. And then the Detroit Lions, man. We did not see that coming.
No.
I thought they were going to win, but they put the smack down on them.
That was
3 field goals from the Cowboys.
Oh.
Not great. To be honest with you, and Dak 2 interceptions, I think it was.
Yeah.
Rough. Really rough.
Dak.
I don't know what they're going to do.
A lot of money on that guy. Good.
Yeah.
Good decision on their part. And it was Jerry's birthday.
Yeah.
Jerry got a great birthday gift, an absolute shellacking. So
yeah,
that was amazing.
Yeah.
So Cameron, what were your thoughts of the week? What stood out to you?
That the 49ers game, I was praying for rain. I was doing my little rain dance, and it didn't
happen.
It didn't work. But
I did my sun dance.
There was a point where it looked like the 49ers were going to let it slip.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I agree.
And the Seahawks were going to come back and win, but they decided this week that they weren't going to do that. So they came off with a win. So that was cool, I guess.
Let me ask the question to stick with that game, because I have a question for you guys, and I don't understand this, and this has happened multiple times. In that game, a key play in the game, and they do an instant replay, it's an obvious fumble. They show it. The announcers say it's obvious. They have the guy from New York that works for the ref says it's an obvious. They're going to overrule it. It should be the 49ers ball. How do you do an instant replay and have a million angles, and they keep making mistakes that are obvious? Like, how does that happen? I don't understand.
Well, I think
because if that's a Super Bowl and that happens, that would be catastrophic.
It's not going to happen in a Super Bowl.
It might.
This is the thing, is I think that where the refs struggle a little bit is, each one of those refs kind of takes the idea of irrefutable evidence, I think is that right? Irrefutable evidence, and each ref is going to call that maybe a little bit different. So
yeah, I just don't understand. There's some of them are really hard, and I get it. And you shouldn't overturn it if it's 50-50, but when they're clear, I just don't understand. They've made multiple mistakes. This one didn't matter, so it didn't end up making a difference, but it could have. And when you think of things, if you're a coach, if Robert Selah wins one more game, he's not fired.
Yeah,
he's still there. I mean, we don't know. I mean, there's different coaches that get fired and never get another opportunity by a bad call. That's why you have instant replay. I just don't understand.
Not why Robert Selah got fired.
Well, I think it's Rodgers is why he got fired. I think he had, but
no, it actually is.
Yes,
because so Selah.
He says he didn't know.
No. So Selah wanted to fire Hackett.
Yes,
and Hackett was like a must-have for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yes,
which is awful because Nathaniel Hackett is cheeks.
Yes,
yeah.
But so
and Rodgers is gone
like,
next year.
Yeah,
yes.
Robert Selah is like, hey, this guy sucks. I don't want him on my coaching staff anymore. I'm going to fire him.
Yes.
And Aaron Rodgers gets wind of that and goes, if he leaves, I leave. And they go, well, we can't have this, so let's fire the head coach. So stupid.
It is
so
crazy.
Dumb. It's
it
so
is.
dumb.
We're getting off track here, but yes.
Yes, it didn't make any sense, but I just hope they figure things out and clear things up. I just think it's an utter shame. So now, one thing I want to move on.
Wait, Cameron's still got to do.
Oh, Cameron,
his
go ahead.
Thoughts for the Eagles, Browns,
yes,
and all that.
Yeah. What are your other?
Yeah. The Eagles look really bad.
Same.
They look really bad. And it's crazy how far they've fallen just in like 2 years. And I think I know I keep going back to this guy, but I think a lot of it falls on Jason Kelce leaving and that major leadership pillar being gone. That team's chemistry isn't there.
I think it doesn't help for
and
sure.
I think that's a big thing. Also, it doesn't help that Nick Sirianni was like yelling at the fans. Did you guys see that? He was like jawing with the Cleveland fans.
No, he was jawing with the Eagle fans.
Yeah,
which is they were still chanting "Fire Nick Sirianni" after the win.
Yeah,
which is wild. But also, I don't know that it's uncalled for.
Yeah. Well, that's the question. So you bring up a good point. I think losing Kelce is a deal because but they also tanked last year with Kelce and lost like 7 or 8 games in a row and barely won a whole bunch. Is it Sirianni? What's going on? Because with A.J. Brown, with what they have at the receiver, and now Saquon Barkley, you could argue of the players that are playing running back, he's maybe the best running back in the league right now that's playing. He's top 2 or 3, if not the best. Mm-hmm. You have a good offensive line. What's going on? Like, is it the coaching?
It has to be coaching.
Do you want to know the truth?
Yes, I want to know. Tell us. Deep thoughts with Trent.
I actually don't think it's coaching.
Okay.
And I know it's going to sound wild.
Okay.
I don't know. Here's the deal. Okay.
You like his passion, don't you?
I do. I do like Nick's passion. But all reports coming out of the locker room is everyone loves him. Like, all the players still stand up for him. And if you're a bad coach, players will turn on you so quickly.
Yeah. I
mean, look at Robert Selah. Yeah. I mean, as soon as he was out the door, some people started coming forward and they're like, "Oh, he wasn't really, he wasn't that great." Look at our now defensive coordinator. As soon as he left Miami, Miami players were like, "Yeah, we never really liked him."
Yeah.
Like, players will turn on you so quickly. And we now have 3 years of Nick Sirianni, 2 of them being rough, right? And somehow that locker room, no one is turned on Nick Sirianni. No one's coming out saying anything bad about him. The media is trying to make something of Jalen Hurts and him, but I think that's just Jalen at a podium. I think that's just who he is, right? Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily him trying to stick anything.
So what do you think it is?
Gosh darn it.
Oh, here we go.
I think it's Jalen Hurts.
You do. Yeah.
Listen, I love that dude. And it's gonna part of my heart is gonna break off and just float away. And my wife will have to deal with a half-hearted man for the rest of my life. I love Jalen. I love his story. The comeback kid, the Alabama portion of his life is so iconic and cool. And then you go to the Oklahoma version of Jalen Hurts, and you go to getting drafted, and then being behind Carson Wentz, and then him playing, and going to the Super Bowl. Some people think he outplayed Mahomes in the Super Bowl, still lost. Listen, I think he's an all-around good dude. And you can tell by what he does with his money in the offseason that he's a great dude. But there's just something about a quarterback that, like, even your Matthew Staffords, your Patrick Mahomes, I'm trying to think, even Jared Goff, they elevate players. They elevate them to a different level. Jalen, in all 3 years that he's been at the Eagles, I just don't feel like he elevates players. I just don't. We were out both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown 2 weeks ago, and I know that's hard to play without your best wide receivers.
Yes.
But he didn't look like he was elevating anyone that day. And that's just, it's not a good look. It's one of those things where, like, if you're gonna be the QB that leads this team to victory, you got to elevate people on your team. And I haven't seen that. And I really hope that it turns around. But if the Eagles want to know what's wrong right now, I honestly think it's the quarterback. It starts with the QB.
Well, we'll see if they can turn it around. I mean, Sirianni had a great first year, and then he actually was the top of the league the first 2/3 of the league last year. It was the last third that was horrible. So, and then this year's been confusing. Yeah. So we'll see where they go going forward. Now we're going to move on to Major League Baseball. We haven't talked a little baseball. Down to the final 4. We've got, let's see, the Yankees. They're up 1-0 right now against the Guardians, and we also have the Mets and the Dodgers. Cameron, who do you have making it to the World Series of those? Right now it's 1-1 in the Dodgers series. So what do you got going on? Who do you have winning?
Yeah. Well, I definitely don't have my team winning.
Yes. The White Sox were eliminated 4th of July.
They were eliminated very, very early. Yankees, Guardians.
Okay. Here we go.
I have to pick the Yankees.
Yeah.
As much as I hate the Yankees.
Yeah.
No one likes the Yankees.
No.
Yeah.
No one likes to like the Yankees.
Yeah.
Even Yankee fans are like, oh, why do I like this team?
Oh.
But I just think they're clearly the better team.
Yeah.
The Guardians are good, but just not as good. And then the Dodgers and the Mets.
Yep, here we go.
Dodgers, Mets.
Here we go.
Are you a big Shohei Ohtani guy?
I love me some Shohei.
But I don't like me the Dodgers.
No, I do like me the Dodgers. And my dad's going to like this pick because he's a big Dodgers fan. But I'm picking the Dodgers to make it to the finals.
I don't think anyone would be surprised by that for sure.
No, I just want to see Shohei win.
Yeah.
I want to see that kid win because that kid is the best baseball player to ever touch a ball.
Yeah.
That kid's incredible.
I think he definitely has a chance to go down as one of the greatest of all time.
I think he will be, yeah. With the pace that he's at.
And he took a hometown discount so they could bring on other players.
Absolutely.
Which just shows you the character of who he is.
Yep.
So that's really cool, too.
And then in the finals, in the championship, Dodgers, Yankees. I gotta pick my Dodgers. I can't do it. I can't pick the Yankees.
Listen,
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I do think though that the Mets Dodgers is really the game that is gonna. Whoever wins that, I feel like is just gonna win it.
So here's the thing.
I wanted to see the Padres.
In baseball, the thing that drives me crazy, is they do things differently, and everybody hates the Yankees, and I join that. I think part of it is it's jealous, and I don't know if it's jealousy. It's because they've created something where you can spend an unlimited amount of money. Mm-hmm. And so big market teams like the Yankees spend so much. So they're spending $300 million on their salary. Yeah. The Guardians, who they're playing against, $103 million. Wow. Yeah. 103 to 300 million. And I think the Dodgers are just under them at like 250, and the Mets also have a decent sized salary. But in the history, the Yankees spend way more money, where in football, you have a cap, that's your cap. You have to fit it in the cap. And so it makes the small market teams and the big market teams, more competitive. Yeah. I think that's one of the problems. But because they don't do that, the Yankees just simply take advantage of it and say, hey, we're willing to spend a ridiculous amount of money. The Warriors did it in basketball. Basketball's a little different. There's a punishment for it. However, you can do it. It's just extremely costly. Football, you can't. Basketball, you can, and it's costly. Baseball, they don't really care. Mm-hmm. And so, anyway. So you have, who do you have winning it all?
Yankees, Dodgers, and then Dodgers.
Dodgers winning it all. Ugh. I hope it's not the Dodgers. That's my least favorite team. Really? Yeah, I know. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. Ew. And their biggest rival is the Dodgers. But we'll see. We'll see. They're tied in that series. So
I don't think I've heard anything about the Giants.
Yeah, who the San Francisco...
Buster Posey is now the president of the Giants. Whoa. So that is awesome. He's one of my favorite players. Not my favorite all time, but he is one of my favorite players. That is awesome. So that's what but the Giants haven't been relevant for a few years.
Ever. Yeah, forever.
They lost the Mariners
in the 2010s. 2010s, they won three World Series championships, so that was pretty cool. Wow. So that was cool. Hey, listen, don't say anything for those poor Mariners. They just want to go to the World Series once. 4 decades, 5 decades, nothing. They haven't even been to the game. They would love to go lose 4-0 in the World Series. They would do anything for that.
Yeah, sure.
So anyway, okay. So I'm going to do a new segment today. And I need somebody to get a watch or a timer out.
Oh, I got you.
I am going to try to do all of the games in 60 seconds. I'm going to go through this. I'm going to try to do it. It's going to be really, really close. For those of you that do not have time to watch the NFL Red Zone and watch all the games or anything, I am here to help you get a recap of every game in less than 60 seconds. So here we go. 49ers win. Stop it, people. Purdy is great. And we saw there's now a new law. If the kicker for the 49er, immediately when you kick the ball, leave the field, you're no longer allowed to tackle. Your efforts are appreciated. However, they are mediocre at best. Lions beat the Cowboys. Dak forgot which team he was on. Hutchinson is out. Falcons beat the worthless Panther. Who cares? Bears beat the pathetic Jags. Caleb is getting better. ETN got me ET0 in fantasy points. Bucks destroy terrible Saints. Baker was in a giving mood, threw 3 touchdowns, threw 3 interceptions. Ravens beat Commanders. They're not terrible after all. Packers destroyed the who cares Cardinals. Love had 4 TDs. Colts beat Titans. Who cares? Sorry for anyone that bought that ticket to go to that game. Texans beat Patriots. Stroud had 3 TDs. Eagles get A.J. Brown back. The Browns are pathetic. Chargers beat the Broncos. Snooze alert. Steelers beat the Raiders. Fields isn't that great. Bengals beat Danny Dimes, but he needs to change his name to Danny 7 cents as they only managed 7 points. And Bills beat the Jets. How'd I do?
You're a little late.
Oh! We'll try it again. So,
better luck next week.
That is your wrap-up of Week 6. So now it's time to move on to Trent's top plays in Week 6 in the NFL. Here we go, Trent.
All right, we're back. It's been a little bit. Let me warm up the arms a little bit here. Get sitting in my seat right. All right. Whew. We're going to start out hot today. We're going to start out real hot today. We're going to start out with a good play for the wrong team. Lamar Jackson throws a perfect dot to Mark Andrews, who drops it, leading to an interception. And that reminds us all why Isaiah Likely's taking his snap share. Wow, man. Commanders' first interception of the whole year, given to him right by Mr. Mark Andrews himself. Rashid Shaheed, New Orleans Saints, takes it 47 yards for a punt return touchdown. Sweet. Might be the only good thing the Saints did on Sunday, but man, Rashid Shaheed, that boy can run. Spencer Rattler throws an out route to Chris Olave, and he takes an absolute hit from Zion McCollum from the Bucs. At this point, it's safe to say it doesn't matter who the starting QB is for the Saints. Chris Olave is basically a walking CTE. Joe Burrow tucks it and decides to go do it himself, running all the way for a 47-yard touchdown. I haven't seen Joe Shiesty run that fast since his girlfriend Olivia found out he was following female IG influencers. Ooh. Yeah, man, rough one. But great play by Joe. Gotta love it. CJ Stroud, right down the middle to the old ex-Cowboy Dalton Schultz, who plays a little tip drill to the wrong team. Ooh. Dalton Schultz must have forgotten he wasn't on a Dallas Cowboys anymore. That's the only way we could explain such a bad play. Anyways, moving on. Jordan Love, backpedaling fast as the Arizona defenses rush in, throws off his back foot for a 35-yard lob pass. And when I mean a lob pass, I think it almost hit the top stands to Romeo Doubs. I don't know if the throw was impressive or if the adjustment from Romeo Doubs was, but it was somehow impressive all around. Man, I was confused how that ball got so high in the air and how it still came down for a touchdown. Bad plays. Back to the birds. Jake Elliott attempts a 57-yard field goal just to have former Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett block it. How many bad special teams plays you'll see from the Eagles this year? We may never actually know. Probably a lot. Anyways, just to top it off, former Eagle Rodney McLeod returns that exact blocked field goal for 6. Just completely unfortunate if you're an Eagles fan. Chris Godwin takes a short pass from Baker Mayfield, breaks some tackles, and goes 55 yards for a second touchdown on the day. We talk about the ageless wonder Mike Evans a lot, but man, Chris Godwin is looking electric this year. I think he's been taking some recovery notes from Mr. Old Man Mike himself. By far, my favorite moment, man, we could end it right here. We're not going to, but we can end it right here. My favorite moment from Sunday, Mark Sanchez is announcing the Carolina Panthers game, and as he's saying, Bryce Young needs to take notes from the professional, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton throws an interception to the Falcons for Clark Phillips to return. It was honestly easily the most ironic play by far from an announcer I think I've ever heard. Kind of just reminds you of Mark Sanchez's iconic career.
Oh, yeah.
Old Dan Campbell. Man, I love this one. Pulls out the stops against the Cowboys, calling an end-around flea flicker to Jared Goff, throws a beautiful pass to Sam Laporta for a touchdown. We sometimes forget just how electric this Lions offense is. And Jared Goff, he's looking like an MVP frontrunner, and Sam Laporta might be the top tight end in the NFL. My honorable mention for this week is literally just the Lions and Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell ran like multiple trick plays against the Cowboys. I think he ran a hook and ladder. He tried to do the left tackle pass at the goal line again. Dan was definitely a salty from last year, and he made it well known he's no longer losing to them boys.
No.
Yeah, he's done there. Great week. We had some great plays and some not so great plays.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that's what we love, and it's for those people that can't watch everything. You get the top plays right here.
Yeah.
And we let you know. So
all right, Randy.
That was good. Yes.
I got a little game for you.
All right.
I got a little game for you.
All right.
Okay. We're going to call this game Would You Rather.
Okay.
We stole a little bit from some other friendlier podcasts around there. DK Metcalf, currently the top 5 in receiving yards so far this season. Honestly, I think this is the first time I truly felt like he's playing at a level we expect for him. I don't know if it's the pass-heavy coach or he just needs some more time to develop, but I think he is really getting it going this year. DK is a great player, and let's play this little game, Would You Rather, okay? You can pick either DK Metcalf or the other player I mentioned. I need a quick reason. It's got to be like a quick sentence reasoning, okay? Would you rather have DK Metcalf or Drake London?
DK Metcalf.
Reason?
Because I was told before the season they were going to go into motion more often, and he was going to get more picks or more opportunities.
DK Metcalf or George Pickens?
DK Metcalf. Geno Smith is better than Fields.
Well, that's not a DK Metcalf thing.
Well, yeah, but it's DK Metcalf's with the Seattle Seahawks, so that's why. I think it's a system.
All right. Metcalf or Stephon Diggs?
DK Metcalf. I think Diggs is a diva.
I mean, Metcalf's definitely a diva.
Yes, but Diggs, I think, might be the diva of divas.
Yeah, he might be the best diva of all time. Cameron, you can make your noises heard.
And I have a conflict of interest because DK Metcalf's on my fantasy team.
Okay, DK, this is a good one right here. DK Metcalf or Nico Collins?
I like Nico Collins.
I was going to say, it shouldn't take that long.
Yeah, Nico Collins.
Yeah. DK Metcalf or Brandon Ayuk?
Right now, I would take, there's 7-on-7 flag football players that I'd pick over Ayuk. So I would go DK now, but in the long run, I'd do Ayuk.
This should be an easy one.
That's crazy.
Don't mess this one up. DK Metcalf or CeeDee Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
clear.
DK Metcalf or Garrett Wilson?
I'd go Garrett Wilson. I think he has more talent.
Okay. All right. Last one. All right. DK Metcalf or his former Ole Miss teammate, Mr. A.J. Brown himself?
A.J. Brown.
Wrong.
What?
A.J. Brown.
Wow. Okay. That was quick.
Yeah.
No, I meant on like Cameron's point. Cameron was quick to say that's
I
wrong.
knew that's what he was gonna
Hold
say.
up. Time out, Cameron. Now I'm going to give you a chance. What was the one pick that you just said, I can't get on with that?
The Garrett Wilson pick, that was so out of this world wrong.
That was out of this world wrong.
He's not as big as DK Metcalf. He's not as fast as DK Metcalf. He can't catch the ball as well as DK Metcalf.
It sounds like you're making a great case for DK
He's
Metcalf.
not as physical as DK Metcalf. Have you ever seen two defenders run into Garrett Wilson and then bounce off? No, you haven't. I've seen it with DK Metcalf. That kid's disgusting.
Okay.
And
he looks amazing and he runs like a freak. He is DK Metcalf is an amazing stud. There's no doubt about it. Okay.
All right.
But
that was kind of fun. Maybe I should bring out a more controversial player next time. I mean, DK. I felt like DK was a little controversial. He's been up and down in his career.
Year out, he usually is.
Yeah. I mean, they're both good receivers. Garrett Wilson's, had some great seasons. I mean, you look in 2023, Garrett Wilson had 1,000 yards receiving. He had 2022. He had 1,000 yards receiving. He's a little bit younger.
Hear me out though. You give DK Metcalf.
Who did he have last year?
You give DK Metcalf a solid starting quarterback. How different would his numbers be?
You don't know. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is Garrett Wilson in 2022, 2021, and Garrett Wilson did not have a good quarterback in those 2 years.
He had Zach Wilson. What are you talking
Exactly.
about?
Zach Wilson
is not even close to what
This
Geno
is the
Smith
same quarterback that was talking to Tom Brady's ex-wife.
Okay.
I think he could throw the
ball. This is called heavy sarcasm. So, here's the thing. So Garrett Wilson had we'd all admit, a worse quarterback, and he had slightly less yards. Garrett Wilson had a little bit more yards in both years. They're comparable. So to say one is way above is actually a little bit crazy.
The only thing is that Garrett Wilson was getting more targets.
Yeah, he definitely was getting more targets.
So
What's their targets?
I'd have to look at what their targets are. But I'm just saying their stats are comparable.
Yeah.
Wilson's are slightly better with the worst quarterback, but they're comparable players. They don't look comparable. I mean, you have one that's like a Greek god looking. I mean, I remember when they drafted DK Metcalf and he came in with his shirt off, and Pete Carroll I don't know if you saw the video. You should watch the video. Pete Carroll got excited and he took his shirt off right in the room, and they shook hands. It was great. DK Metcalf looks the part. Fast as can be. I'm surprised he's not actually better, but he's having a better year this year.
Hear me out. Let's say that you took DK Metcalf. Let's just make a scenario that makes sense. Okay.
Right.
Let's say you took DK Metcalf and you put him on like a Mike McDaniel's offense with a top 10 quarterback. He probably is breaking a lot of records. He's probably getting a TO type season every year.
So I think part of
he's been on a run-heavy offense this whole career.
I think I don't know. You'd have to look at how good he is at running routes, because his speed and his strength and his height, you would think he would be killing everything. So is it his routes or is it the system? You're right. They're more of a running system, so could be.
And he's still got Geno freaking Smith as his quarterback.
Hey, Geno's been playing good.
Geno the last couple of years is improved dramatically, but Thursday night he was.
I think I'd rather have Ricky Pearsall fresh out of the hospital.
Oh, he's back practicing. He just opened up his 3-day window or 3-week window. So, all right. So now it is time for our very special Cameron's Catastrophes for the week. Cameron, you are up.
Yeah. Got catastrophes this week.
Catastrophes.
Bad things happened.
So, yeah, there's a couple bad things that happened. One of them we already touched on. The Jets firing Salah.
Yeah.
This
doesn't hurt to talk about it again.
This is when we talk about bad decisions, when we talk about teams making terrible calls and mismanaging, this is the epitome. This is example A. Like, this is so incredibly stupid that this happened. And the fact that the Jets front office is just letting Aaron Rodgers run their team is just stupid.
It is. And he's gone next year.
Aaron Rodgers is not worth it.
No.
Aaron Rodgers is not good enough to run your offense. He's not good enough to run your team. He just lost again tonight. He's old. He's washed up. He's useless. He's useless. So, what I am curious about for you guys is, where does Robert Selah go now? Where does he go from here?
I mean, I hope that he doesn't take a serious coaching offer this year. Like, obviously for Randy's sake, he would love nothing more than Robert Selah to take a defensive coordinator position for the 49ers like today.
Yes.
But I actually hope that he goes in and he takes a role for some team as like a what's the term for it? They have a term for it.
Like a consultant?
Yeah. I hope he takes a defensive consultant role where he can go into a team, feel like he's still a part of something for the rest of the season. I think, I know this is going to kind of sound crazy. I think there's going to be at least eight job openings in the NFL next year. And I don't see it being out of question that he could get a head coaching job next year.
Right.
You know what I think he should do? And this is what I hope happens.
Okay.
I hope that the Dallas Cowboys fire their head coach and they sign Robert Selah. Because
that would hurt my heart.
Yeah, but that team needs a defense-oriented coach.
Micah Parsons would love him.
They would destroy if they had a defense-oriented coach.
I agree.
And if they did that, they would look very good.
I know
that won't happen.
I think that's a good call, Cameron. I hope that does not happen.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
But I think it should.
Yeah.
And Salah runs the Fangio system, so that would actually be ideal for Micah because their linebackers move a lot in that system.
Yep.
So that would actually be ideal for Micah too. No, I think that would make a lot of sense. And like I said, I seriously just don't think it's out of question that he could get a head coaching job right off the bat.
No. I heard that he was going to take time. He's vacationing with his family, and he might just take the rest of the year off and just kind of regroup, refresh, and then start fresh next year. That's what I heard, but who knows?
I think the bad part about that, though, is I don't think he's going to get a head coaching job right off the bat if he does that.
Yeah.
Not saying that he will, no matter what.
Can you imagine how many jobs he'd get if he took over a good team and they all of a sudden start winning some games and the defense looks good? He will be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Cameron, keep going with your catastrophes.
The next one that I have is this was in the Lions game, and you very, very, very briefly touched on it. Aidan Hutchinson.
Yes, I had it right here.
I don't know if you guys saw the
I
injury.
Unfortunately did.
I don't know if you watched the replay of it.
I
don't know if you listened to the game. You could hear
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. I accidentally saw it.
He snapped his leg.
Oh, it was wrapped around.
So he was going for a tackle and kind of came around the player that he was trying to tackle and kicked his own teammate in the calf. And when that happened, his leg went like this.
Oh, it did. It wrapped
around
like
his teammate's
a
leg.
candy cane.
And it was, you could hear it on the broadcast. You could hear it break.
So sad.
It was very bad, and they didn't replay it on live television.
Yeah.
And he immediately went into surgery in Dallas. And I don't know how long that recovery is. I saw something that Matt Campbell thinks he's going to come back this season.
He's not a chance.
He's not.
I don't know what that.
He's not.
I don't know what the recovery time is for a broken leg.
Time out. Okay, realistically,
It depends on the tendons.
if the tendons are fine, he could come back.
No, he can't.
No, because a bone heal is only like 6 to 8
Yeah,
weeks.
but that's not a bone. That thing, it's not like a crack. That thing wrapped around.
Yeah, but
they said
what
he's
I'm
out
saying,
a year.
what I'm saying is realistically, if the tendons are fine, I'm not saying they are, but if they were fine, a bone heal is like six to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
So he could come back realistically if the tendons were fine. Are they fine? Probably not.
Yeah, I
You were
heard
saying it
today.
yesterday, so-
I heard today they said that he is. They were concerned that it could be career threatening. It was that bad.
Wow.
But then they said, this is just what I heard today, that they said no, they think he's going to be fine. By the start of next year, he should be able to play. That's
Yeah,
what
but
they're
So
talking
that's
that
like-
defense needs him now.
I
that's
know
like 9
that's a
months.
huge loss for the Lions.
Yeah, major loss.
Huge loss.
They went from probably my favorite to win the NFC to
Yeah.
maybe not winning the
Yeah,
NFC.
now we got to wait about 4 or 5 weeks to see where teams are because
So-
the Lions look good.
So my question is should they look to replace him in any way, shape, or form?
I would.
But
Man.
who do they replace him with?
Well,
I would be making phone calls today for sure.
Yeah, I don't know who right now, but it all depends on teams that are maybe falling down that want to get rid of a little bit of salary and they're in tank mode, even though they won't say they're in tank mode. You've got a smile on your face right now. Do you have somebody in mind?
Is it the crazy horse?
Should the Cowboys? Should they call the Cowboys?
Oh, they're not going to give up Micah.
No, there's
They're
no
not
way.
There's no way they're
Yeah.
giving up Micah.
But Micah hasn't gotten paid.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And if
That's a good point.
If he lost that bad this game, he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Who knows what the Cowboys? That's an interesting.
The Lions could do the absolute funniest thing. Destroy the Cowboys and then take their star defensive player from them.
That would be
They-
crazy.
They
but
beat them
Micah's
down
still
and then
hurt.
robbed them.
Micah's
but-
still hurt, right?
Yeah, but
Do we know when he comes back?
I
don't
heard
know
he's
when he
come.
comes back.
I think he's coming back right away. Him,
Yeah, okay.
I think they have a couple people that are coming back, Lawrence and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
I've been hearing a lot of like Max Crosby, but that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to
the
me.
Raiders don't. The Raiders are so competitive.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that team has nothing but Max Crosby, and they got to sell tickets at some point.
yeah, but we'll see. I'd pick somebody, even if you don't get a All Pro. You need to get somebody serviceable because you don't know how often you're going to have a Super Bowl opportunity, and they have one now.
Yep.
So
Another thing that I'm going to touch on, just because it's my team, there's an update for Rashee Rice. He is out 10 to 12 months.
Wow.
So his injury was a lot worse
Than
than
they
what
first
we
said.
originally thought, which sucks. It
okay.
absolutely sucks. But my question is, because what? Sorry, this is I need to talk about this. So this sucks because at the beginning of the season, right before the season, Rashee Rice was in a hit and run crash, fled the scene, and was not charged with anything right now. But the league said that they would not look into reprimands for Rashee Rice until after this season.
Oh,
My worry
this is
is
going to be
No,
2
wait.
seasons.
Time out. This is actually good for him.
no, this is not.
Because
if he's out for the rest of the season and then he's healthy next season,
then they do
and
the
then the NFL
the ban.
decides to reprimand him and suspend him, then he's out for more games than he was already out for. He could miss all of next season too.
No. I actually think this is good. No. I really do think this is good because he probably could push them towards reprimanding him now while he's injured.
I don't know how that works, though. If they reprimand him now and he's out for the season, I don't know if they make it retroactive when he's off of the IR anyway.
He's not an active player, so there is no reprimand.
Yeah.
Unless he's getting
'Cause he's on
unless
IR.
he's getting docked pay.
Yeah, but he's still in the roster. Because
Yeah, but
even
he's
if you're on
on
IR, you're still in the roster.
I would think they're going to wait till he's cleared medically and he can play.
Yeah.
So it would have been great if it would have already
That would be
happened
really
to him.
bad.
That
And
would
then he
suck
went on
a
IR.
lot.
That
Actually,
would suck.
If he was gone for almost 2 years,
yeah, it would really suck.
that'd be
that would be-
really unfortunate.
I'm aware. Yeah,
Hey, you've got Worthy, and you've got
Juju Smith-Schuster.
you've got Reed,
I got
Yeah.
Juju
and
Smith-Schuster.
right now
Juju.
God's been on your side.
We re-signed 2 players that we
Yeah.
had. We
Listen.
re-signed Juju and we re-signed Kareem Hunt.
Yep.
Shout out Kareem Hunt.
Yeah,
one of the
he's
best,
doing well.
Do
one of
you
the
really
best
need
waiver pickups.
Rasheed Rice?
Yes.
When you got
Yes.
God on your
When
side?
you got God, no, you don't.
When you got the Lord and Savior on your
so-
side, do you
okay.
really need Rasheed Rice?
No,
No, but I
it
want
does.
him.
It is nice to have. So what else do you have?
The
there?
last thing that I have, I was going to
Okay.
talk about the Cowboys, but I
Yes.
don't care enough to talk about the
Oh,
Cowboys.
they were a
Same.
disaster, though.
Basically, all I was going to say is they should probably rebuild. Anyways,
I agree.
And I was going to say that CD needs to leave if he wants any chance at
He
seeing the
can't now.
playoffs, let alone a Super Bowl. Anyways, I know he can't get out because he
Yeah.
got paid. Anyways, I'm going to talk a little bit about basketball.
Ooh,
So over the offseason, a major trade was done with the Timberwolves and the New York Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Knicks traded Dante DiVincenzo and I can't remember the other player for Karl Anthony Towns.
Mm-hmm.
And they just played
KT.
the other night. And there was 2 major things that happened. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards kind of met up after the game, and Anthony Edwards goes, "Hey, after this year, we're gonna meet up in New York," which is implying that Anthony Edwards is going to leave the Timberwolves after this year and go
man.
play with Karl Anthony Towns.
Listen,
If that happens, because the other thing is Dante DiVincenzo was at the end of the game, he was jawing with the Knicks bench the Knicks bench all night long, and he was getting mad at them, blah blah blah, and at the end of the game, he got into a yelling match with the assistant coach, and the very obvious thing that happened here is that this was just a business decision, and it was none of the players wanted it. None of the all the players
Yeah.
were happy where they were.
And
none
Randall,
of the players wanted to leave.
Julius Randall,
Yeah. None of the players wanted to leave. Everyone was happy, and now everyone's pissed off. Dante DiVincenzo was very upset, visibly and audibly. And Anthony Edwards was like, "I don't want to stay here either." And he's like, "I'm out after this season."
What a
Which is
disaster!
So bad.
Yeah,
So bad for that team.
that is a disaster.
hear me out.
Good call.
I feel like the NBA trades have gotten to the point now where they just don't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, it started with the Derrick Rose trade.
Yeah, and I just keep on looking at the numbers of everything, and I'm just like, the Knicks gave up way too much for Towns. I
He's not worth it.
I think he is a better player than Julius Randle, but not that much.
The problem is, the reason that it happened is because the Timberwolves didn't need Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, that's true.
They have Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
And so they have 2 top centers. So the Knicks had to make a pretty hefty trade to get someone because they know I have 2 of the top centers in the league, and you need a center.
Yeah.
What are you willing to give me?
So are we calling Timberwolves for the finals?
No.
Early
Good
call?
Lord, no.
I might.
The Warriors, I don't think have lost.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
I love my Warriors. I love them.
it's a little early to get
Shut up.
excited about
Shut
the
up.
Warriors, but
I have to be happy
how's
once in a
Klay
while.
Thompson doing for him right now? Sorry, that was a little bitter. I love Clay. I love Klay Thompson. Actually,
that was ice cold.
That was really sad. He's the type of guy. Klay Thompson's the type of guy you want to stay in that uniform forever. And it's sad. I get it why they did it. You have to do certain things, but that actually was sad. So thank you.
Hear me out. I do want to say one last.
Go ahead.
My Miami Heat, they're coming this year.
Oh,
baby. They're coming this year. Listen,
on the lookout.
They don't ever make a trade for nobody, but you can count on them somehow making it to the playoffs.
All right,
they'll be there.
We'll see.
1-1.
We'll see. So
they'll
Cameron,
be there.
Warriors are 4-0, by the way.
Thank you for your catastrophes. They are great, and I appreciate it. Lots of things going on. And now we're going to go to college football. It's been a crazy year. Vanderbilt, they beat Alabama a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We had Oregon beating Ohio State. What's going on, Trent? What are your thoughts of college football?
Man, college football has been electric this year. Honestly, I've been really actually stoked to watch a lot of these college football games. Vandy beating down Alabama.
Woo!
Kids out in Vanderbilt drug a goalpost for 3 miles.
Went for a walk, yeah.
Take it to the Cumberland River and drop it in, boys. We beat Bama. Anyways, excited for that school, man.
Yes.
That's got to feel good. That's got to just feel like a big win for them, you know?
Yep.
I'm sure every single one of those college students, they probably are just like still living off the high right now.
Yep.
But shout out to Oregon. Big win against Ohio State, man. Huge win. Number 2, number 3 facing off. That's what we gotta love about these. With all the schools getting moved around, everything getting reorganized. Getting to see an Oregon-Ohio State game this early on, that's exciting. And I think we're starting to get things that we wish we had for years now. And I think some people were a little disappointed about, certain things going away, certain rivalries going away. But we got new rivalries. And I guarantee that Oregon-Ohio State game is going to be a rivalry.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good game.
Texas, doesn't matter who's their quarterback. Quinn Ewers is back, though. And that guy looks like he's going to take them to the national championship. So I think...
Arch Manning.
I know. We all want Arch. But Quinn Ewers, he's going to lead that team, and I don't see them falling for a while. I mean, they got a pretty good schedule ahead in front of them, but I don't see them falling for a while. Georgia's still looking solid. Miami 6-0. Bama's only got 1 loss, even though it's to not a great school. I guarantee you Bama will still be in the playoffs. Yeah. Ryan Williams looks like an absolute disgusting joystick on the field. That guy's doing things with his body that would actually make my kneecap come out of it. He did
17. Yeah,
17 years old.
That's amazing.
I'm pretty sure at 17 years old, I was not doing anything that cool.
No.
Pretty sure.
I know for a fact I was not doing anything that cool.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, we got some all-around great football going on. LSU's looking pretty solid still. Tennessee has one rough loss, and they also didn't play that great against Florida the other night. BYU. Shout out to the Mormons.
Yeah.
Go Mormons.
Yeah, they're solid.
6-0, baby. The one I would like to point out, Boise State, 5-1, running behind the absolute workhorse, Ashton Genty. Listen, you got to look up some Ashton Genty stats. That dude is gross.
He has 1,246 yards already.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. That is so crazy. That's so crazy.
Little Boise, from Boise State.
200-yard game.
Man, and those fans, it's so awesome for them.
Yeah.
I went in Boise once, and I was at a place, and they were just packed out with all the fans. And in Idaho they don't have a professional team like that. So you have college, and when you have Boise State dominating like that, the whole state comes together for this team. It's pretty cool.
So last year, in the total of last year, he ran the ball 220 times for 1,300 yards.
Yeah.
He's at half of that, and he's at 1,200 yards.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just insane.
Yeah.
No fumbles, by the way. He's never fumbled in his career.
For him.
In his career
Wow.
at Boise State.
Wow.
He's never fumbled.
Wow.
What year is he?
This is his 3rd year.
College football is exciting. It gives us another day.
So he will be in the draft after this.
Oh, man, yeah.
And he did decide to go back to Boise after having multiple offers in the transfer, which was cool to hear about that.
I'm excited to see him in a Patriots uniform.
Ooh, rough.
Don't wish that upon him. Don't wish that upon him.
Listen, what team? Let's just do this for fun, real quick. Just real quick. What team takes Ashton Jeanty in the draft next year? Like, what
Probably
team?
the Jaguars.
Jaguars?
Yeah.
I don't know.
ETN's horrible.
Yeah, but he can't go that high.
Pittsburgh,
Jaguars are going to be like
Pittsburgh
top
needs
3
to
picks.
improve their running back
He's going to
situation.
win the Heisman.
That's true. He will win the Heisman. Yeah, but he's a running back. He's going to go top maybe
No, he will
9.
not. No.
He'll go
No.
9 or 8.
I don't think they
guarantee
take. You think he'll go where?
I think he'll go top 3.
No.
I don't
People
think they
don't
will.
take running backs that high.
Not
very
anymore.
often.
They'll take this kid.
Yeah.
This kid's nuts.
I know,
That's
but,
true.
But
this
here's
is like
Randy, he
crazy
is at
level
1,200
stupid.
yards already.
No, I get it, but here's the problem for if you're a GM and you take a running back. It is the lowest likely position where people last, and they run you in the ground, and so you a lot of times you don't get that second contract with the running back. It's almost the worst position for a second. So when you pick somebody that high, knowing he's 4 or 5 years, he could be 5 years with the first round. You have to know he is way ridiculously better, and he's going to stay healthy. So I don't think they'll take him top 3, but I could be wrong. He looks
I
like
don't know.
a freak of nature.
He hasn't had any injury problems. He doesn't fumble
Yeah.
the ball. He
Yeah.
doesn't get tackled.
You know who I'm calling?
Who?
He stands in the backfield like Michael Myers. He just stands there like vertically and just looks. He's so scary.
Yeah.
There's one
We'll see.
kid who grew up in Idaho who became a professional football player. And you know what team he played for?
Who's that?
The Dallas Cowboys.
And that is?
Oh, I forget his Leighton Van Der Esch.
Oh, the linebacker.
Yeah. He's from a tiny little town in Idaho.
Okay.
But hear me out. Imagine the Cowboys. They say,
Cowboys could use him.
Let's solve all of our problems.
Why are we talking about the Cowboys? so
Dak
much?
played best behind
Listen,
Zeke.
The Cowboys would be the one that would make a splash.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones would do something. Ezekiel Elliott. They took him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could happen. Let's move on to football. Next week's games. We're tied up right now. We're going to start off with the 49ers and the Chiefs. That's the big matchup. Cameron, I propose that next week, my 49ers, if they win, you have to wear a 49ers jersey on air. And if the Chiefs win, I will wear a Chiefs jersey. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
I don't know where you're gonna find a Chiefs jersey. but
I've
good
got.
luck.
Unfortunately, I know too many people that are Chiefs fans, so I can get a jersey. If you don't have one for me, I know people.
I'm not gonna have to find a 49ers jersey, but I know
No.
you'll have to find a Chiefs jersey.
Okay, well, hopefully I don't have to find a Chiefs jersey. But are you okay with that?
Yeah,
That deal?
totally.
All right, so we're on. So let's go with our picks next week. 49ers, Chiefs. Cameron, you going with the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other option there.
Yes. So here's the thing that's really brutal about this. I'm going 49ers. But what doesn't make sense is I've got this whole theory that God is on the Chiefs side, right? Andy Reid is, I don't know that this is the correct stats, but off of a bye, I think he's like 2,000-0. Yeah. He is unstoppable off a bye. They win every game somehow. The 49ers kicker, this is ridiculous that this happens, but the 49ers kicker gets hurt making a tackle. We get a new kicker, the former Chiefs kicker that was in the first Super Bowl that you beat us on. We got him to replace Moody because he got hurt. He kicks the ball off and makes a tackle in the Seahawks game and separated shoulder. He's now out, which is why I said...
Bummer.
Yeah, why I say the 49ers kicker, new law. I saw this on Facebook. Somebody posted something. New law that the 49ers kicker kicks it and immediately sprints to the sideline and leaves. We don't need you making a tackle again. You're not any good at it. We all know you're not any good at it. Save another day. But I'm still going with the 49ers. Trent, who do you got?
Sorry, Randy.
40. That's okay.
Give me the Chiefs.
Chiefs. I get it. I mean, I get it.
Here's the deal.
I totally get 49ers are beat up. They'll be better soon,
Yeah, but
though.
so are the Chiefs. The difference is, this is ultimately it. The Chiefs have Andy Reid
I know. Andy
out
Reid,
of a bye.
I know. I agree. I hear you. I hear you.
You know who's actually undefeated out of a bye?
Who?
Nick Sirianni.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. 3-0.
4-0.
4-0.
4-0.
Well, that's...
Yeah, give me... I'm sorry. I got to take the
That's
Chiefs.
Fine. That's okay. That's
He's
fair.
just so... I mean, giving that freak of nature a bye
I know.
should be illegal.
I totally get it, but I have to go this route. I think
I
Cameron.
guarantee you they're going to run corn dog on you.
Oh gosh, corn dog is. Now they're gonna save that for a Super Bowl to just rip my heart out.
We're gonna save that for a good team.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
No.
All right. Moving on to the next game off that slander. Broncos.
Wait, did Cameron confirm he's picking the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Broncos. Saints. Who do you got, Trent?
This is such a boring game.
Give me Broncos.
It's Thursday night. Thursday night. Broncos,
Thursday night football.
They are 3-2. Broncos are 3-2.
Ew.
Okay. Okay. You have Broncos?
No.
No. I'm saying Trent.
Yeah.
Trent has Broncos. Obviously, you don't.
No,
I hear
Broncos
from the
are
wincing.
so bad.
You're taking the Saints?
Yes, I'm taking the Saints.
You're
What?
high.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
So listen.
I'm sane. I'm not on this Bo Nix train.
You're going to take
Bo Nix-
Spencer Rattler.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so I agree with one part of what you said. I'm not on the Bo Nix train either. That is insanity, and people like Colin Cowherd, they just want this is just insane.
Yeah.
I'm not for that. However, I absolutely have the Broncos. I think the Saints, their trajectory is. I think they're going way down, and so I'm with you. I've got Broncos over Saints. Lions, Vikings. Who do you have, Cameron? Lions, Vikings.
Ooh, this is a tough one.
Ooh, yes.
Lions, Vikings.
Could be an NFC championship game. Hopefully not.
Vikings are coming out of a bye, too.
Yep.
I think, in all honesty, I think that bye week is going to kill their momentum.
Okay, good.
And I think that giant game for the Lions is going to push them. I'm going to take the Lions.
Lions. Okay.
Ow, wait.
No.
I forgot
okay.
about Aidan Hutchinson.
Yep.
That's a big difference. Yeah, this game is rough.
This is going to be an exciting game.
This sucks. Give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings.
Vikings?
Yeah, give me the Vikings.
Okay. All right.
I hate that. I hate that.
You hate you.
I hate it. I hate it.
Okay, so do you want to trade it?
No,
or you're going to stick with
I don't want
it.
to pick either of them.
Okay. All right. Who do you have, Trent?
Give me the Lions. Listen, after watching them put the beat down on the Dallas Cowboys,
That was them.
I just thought to myself,
Is it in Minnesota?
It is in Minnesota. I didn't want to say it.
I don't care. I could
That's
care
okay.
less.
Oh.
Okay.
Listen,
Okay.
here's the deal. I don't care if the Vikings have a bye. I don't care if it's in Minnesota.
Okay.
I don't care if the Vikings passed for 500 yards 2 weeks prior. This Lions team is ran by a head coach who's an absolute madman.
He's a gunslinger himself.
And here's the deal. I think after watching that game against the Cowboys, I am convinced this team is not going to have much letdowns this season. And the reason I'm convinced is because that man pulled out 16 trick plays to beat the Dallas Cowboys because he knew what type of statement that would make. And I think he knows that if he smacks the Vikings in the mouth one hard time, I think that Vikings team is going to crumble. They haven't got hit in the mouth hard yet this season.
Yes.
They've had a really nice, really plush schedule for the
49ers.
really
At
nice,
home.
really
Hey,
plush
easy.
schedule.
He gave you an opportunity.
And
Okay.
listen,
But
I
they
think,
also haven't beat the 49ers in like 30 years.
Yeah.
yeah, I just think,
Been a rough
listen,
3 decades.
they've had some lucky situations so far,
Okay.
some really nice situations
All
so
right.
far. This Lions team's the real deal,
Fair enough.
and I think if the Vikings come out of this, good for them. But I don't think they're going to come out of this.
I think, Cameron, you made a really good point about the momentum. Usually buys are really exciting, but that momentum there is something to it, so that scares me. But all I'm going to go by is what I've seen thus far. And Detroit has played a couple games where they could have a couple more losses. They beat the Cowboys down, but the Cowboys kind of have a history of that. Last year, against good teams, they got throttled multiple times. Against bad teams, they beat. So I don't know what to expect from the Cowboys. They're without a couple really key players on defense, and defense is going to have to carry them. So I don't know and Dak was giving the ball all around. I'm going with Vikings. At home, sticking with the Vikings. Last game, we've got Eagles versus Giants. I am going to tell you, I went last year to watch the 49ers and Philadelphia play in Philly. And that stadium and that crowd was awesome to be a part of. I loved it. And I'm not obviously I'm a 49er fan, but I like me some Eagles, and I actually want to see them succeed. They're struggling mightily, but I like that team. And so I don't know if it's my heart or whatever, but I also don't think the Giants are very good. Like I said, Danny Dimes got 7 points. He should be called Danny 7 cents from last game. But I'm going with the Eagles over the Giants.
You know what's sad is I'm going to pick the Eagles, but I could also not blame Cameron if he took the Giants.
Yes.
The Giants.
Yes, I understand.
No, I get it. It makes sense.
It's not because I think the Giants are a better team. It's actually because I'm just expecting the Eagles to be bad this week.
The Eagles have not
one out against Cleveland.
Yeah.
And this week,
Against
I don't think
the
they're going to
Browns.
squeak.
Listen, that
one
defense from the Giants, I was watching their game. They actually look good.
Yeah.
They don't, I mean, don't get me wrong. That offense
And
needs a big fix.
I really like Malik Neighbors.
I was going to say,
my
he comes
gosh.
back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Their defense looks good.
Yep.
Their defense looks real good.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Last thing I just want to go over real quick. I just have to say this. The one of the worst things that I've seen is Deshaun Watson has just been an absolute travesty. They can't get rid of him. He's got $93 million more guaranteed. He's absolutely killed that team. The Browns gave up on the number 1 pick, Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up on him, who's doing well, to get a guy that was already accused of massive amount of crimes.
Yeah.
So they gave up the number 1 pick and said, we don't want you anymore. We're going all in. The Texans are like, seriously? A guy with this credibility? And he said, we're going to go in for him. This is what they gave up.
He also was a good dude. Like, we forget that.
Before that.
The city of Cleveland loved Baker.
Yes.
The city of Cleveland loved Baker.
And they gave up on Baker, and then they took a guy with significantly questionable character. They gave him $230 million, and this is what the Texans got for him. Not only did they get C.J. Stroud to replace Deshaun Watson, who is mightily better, okay? They got, after they got the trade, they got 6 picks that they got more picks for that. They got running back Damian Price, who has 1,600 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Is it Price or Pierce? That's Pierce.
It's Pierce.
Yeah, sorry. Defensive end Will Anderson, 2023 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tank Dell, who had 60 catches, 846 yards, 7 touchdowns in 15 games.
Dell.
They got a starting left guard. They got a starting free safety. They got a starting cornerback. They got a wide receiver, a linebacker, Christian Harris, linebacker, Jamal Hill, a tight end, and a 2025 second-round pick. They saved a ton of money, got out of the bad aura of somebody that, doesn't look good for your franchise. They got all this, and Cleveland stuck. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's got to be the worst trade
in history
of anything. I can't.
Could be.
They absolutely slayed that trade, and Cleveland is in trouble for a long time.
Yeah, I almost want Baker to come back and play, like have Tampa Bay versus Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just so they could just get a real realization of what happened.
Man, they gave up Baker and got Watson, who is the worst quarterback right now in the league.
No.
I mean, it's starting.
No, he definitely is the worst quarterback.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Jalen Hurts might throw a lot of interceptions, but he's not Deshaun Watson bad.
No.
Will Levis?
Oh, well, maybe. Maybe.
Okay,
Spider-Man himself.
I believe Will Levis just threw for 95 yards last game.
Whoa.
95 yards. That's pretty bad. So
Mr. Mayo.
Yeah. So that's pretty
he
bad.
could turn it around. He probably won't.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Again, thank you guys for everything, you joining us and subscribing. It's meant a lot to us. We really appreciate it. Exciting day. We're looking forward to this next week. I might come back to press like I have every time we play the Chiefs. But we'll see how the week goes. Thank you. Please put your comments in. Tell us what you agree with, what you disagree with, which teams, college football. We got baseball. We've talked about basketball, a little bit of everything. Please add your comments. We like seeing them. Thank you to Drew behind the scenes that does a lot of work with all the clips that he puts. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you, Trent, and everybody. We will see you next time.